Hi guys, it's Mandy from Mandyleeplays, and in today's video, I'm gonna do a before you buy for Trails in the Sky Chapter 1 remake. I'm so excited for this game and I'm hoping you guys are too. But before that, if you end up liking the video, then please hit that like button. It helps a lot. And if you're new to the channel and are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. And also, YouTube released this new feature called Hype. If you're feeling so inclined to, hit that hype button. And yeah, that's a lot of stuff YouTube is asking for people to say. Anyways, with all that being said, let's get on to the before you buy. So in 2004, a legendary RPG was released, The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky FC, part of the long-running Legend of Heroes series and the first game in the Kiseki series, released for the PC and later the PSP in 2006. Now, as tradition, we didn't get it in America till much later because back in those days and even today, they released the games first in Japan and then worldwide. And Americans won't get a chance to see this game until 2011 and was released on the PSP. And it actually came in the later half of the console's life, which is big oof. Now, I had a PSP and I really didn't play it much. Actually, my PSP battery bloated and I just threw it out. But thankfully, it was released on the PC in 2014. And almost 15 years later, Trails in the Sky is receiving the remake treatment from head to toe. The game is being revamped, re-released, and resurfacing for not only old players but new players as well, like me. I'm actually a newbie when it comes to the Trails series, so I'm excited to jump right in. Like, a lot of people in the JRPG community love this series, so I'm pretty excited. First, I want to go over a quick timeline of the game. Trails in the Sky First Chapter is the first game in the long-running Kiseki series, or Trail series, and it's part of the grander Legend of Heroes series by Falcom. It's this long-going series that connect to each other in multiple different ways, from the characters to the world building. So unlike Final Fantasy, where you get to start each game in a new universe, the Legend of Heroes series ditches that and all of the games are connected. And while some of them you're not required to have played all the previous games, it would be best if you did, because then you'll get all the context. And that's why a lot of people are intimidated by it. But lucky for us, Trails in the Sky Chapter 1 is the first game in the whole Kiseki Trails series. Now, I'm not gonna go over the debate on where to start, mainly because I'm kind of a newbie here, so I really have no grounds to say which is the game you should start with, because I haven't played them. But in this case, I could confidently say without a doubt that Trails in the Sky Chapter 1 is probably the best place you should start, especially when it comes to the gameplay mechanics, the orbitals and how they function, and plus all the world building. So with that out of the way, let's go on to the consoles, the pricing, and the different variants. So for the consoles, it's not that complicated, so yay, but I still have to explain some stuff. The game will release on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2, PS5, and PC, being sold at $60. But weirdly enough, it's only coming for the PlayStation 5 and not the PS4. With the Switch 2, there are good news. So you can't get a Switch 2 copy physical, so that means no keycard, so yay. But if you do want a physical copy, I would suggest getting the Nintendo Switch version and then upgrading, because they do offer an upgrade path, the cost being $1. So for $1, you could upgrade your Switch copy to a Switch 2 copy. So the Switch 2 edition will feature a higher resolution boost along with a higher frame rate, and thankfully, because if you play the demo on the Switch 1, it's rough. Like, it's chugging. It's not unplayable, but it wouldn't be my preferred way I want to experience this game. And finally, the Switch 2 version will have a reduced load time, which is nice. It's a trend I've been noticing with a lot of Switch 2 games. The loading times are like... As for the Steam Deck, this game is currently listed as unknown ratings for capability. Steam Deck HQ reported that the game runs at 60 FPS when you set the game to low. But if you set the game to medium, the game will run between 30 and 40 FPS. And both of these ran at a 720p resolution. Honestly speaking though, not the best, it's not the worst, and it still runs. But if you want my honest opinions, I would probably recommend you guys play the PlayStation 5 version. That one runs the best out of all of them in my opinion, but I like my portable gaming and I do want to spend time with my Switch 2, goddammit, so I'm getting it for the Switch 2. As for physical versions, you could get a regular physical for the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch. However, for the super fans out there, there is collector's editions, but they're only sold by limited run. If you get it on their storefront, you could also get a steelbook for the PlayStation 5 or the Nintendo Switch. And not only do you get a steelbook, it also comes with a foil embossed slipcover and the classic costumes that you've seen on the internet. They're pretty funny. They're like the blocky versions of Estelle and Joshua. Now for limited run, it does say it will ship out the day the games come out, but knowing limited run's track record, I would be nervous. Limited run delivering things on time, difficulty, challenging. So hopefully they keep their word on that. Now let's make our way to the story and the characters. The story focuses on two characters, Estelle Bright and her adopted brother, Joshua Bright. Estelle is the bright-eyed junior bracer who often speaks before thinking, which gives her a very bubbly but a little bit ditzy charm to her. And I've heard that Estelle is one of the best protagonists out of any JRPG. And when I was playing the demo, I was just like, wow, I can see why a lot of people like her. She is so adorable, not only because she's optimistic and stuff, but she's very kind-hearted and wears her emotions on her sleeve. I just love her energy, and I can't wait to see her character progress throughout the story. I was gonna do the Estelle little ponytails, but curly hair and ponytails don't look as good as straight hair and ponytails. Just saying. Joshua, on the other hand, is pretty much set up to be the opposite of her. He is calm, collected. He likes to portray that he's mature, even though he's Estelle's age, and he really grounds Estelle to reality. Oh, there goes gravity, and kind of wrangles Estelle's emotions when they get a little bit too hot. And I love their dynamic because they're really opposites of each other, so they play off each other really good. And the story begins with Estelle and Joshua becoming bracers. The bracers are basically an organization dedicated to helping civilians, solving problems, and protecting the peace. And you have to raise up in the ranks of the Bracers Guild. Now, admittedly, I've heard this from a lot of people, and even from the demo itself, the story is a bit of a slow burn. So it's not going to put you right in the action at first. It takes time to really progress, and you're gonna want to do side quests as well. But this slow burn does serve a purpose, mainly for focusing on character growth and world building. Although it was funny because when you start the demo, you begin as you do a test to become a bracer, and then the prologue starts. So there was a prologue before the prologue. So for the main story, you gotta progress through taking on different requests, and different tasks has you defeating monsters, delivering items, or protecting a person, or all three. Now, this is the one gripe I have, and that is the protecting people part. Now, these are often called escort missions, and I hate them. And in the demo, they had several of these. I don't know how I feel about it, but it seems to be a staple. Anywhoosies, now on to what I think is the most impressive thing about this game, and that is the gameplay. It is something so unique. Now, a lot of people told me that it's the same as the later Trails games, but I never played them. So to me, this gameplay is unique and I love it. Essentially, there is a quick battle mode and then a turn-based battle mode. And this is why I love the gameplay so much. You could pick which one you want to do, though with the quick gameplay mode, you don't have as much moves and you don't do as much damage. Plus, you don't get a lot of XP. But if you're in an area that is very low leveled from you, then it makes it easier to just quick battle them. Now, the turn-based mechanic or command battle is more in-depth. So you can select basic attacks, arts, crafts, and items, which really comes in handy. So arts are basically the spell casting of the game. You could heal, you could attack, or buff you and your other party members. Now, the arts are dependent on your orbitance. So your orbitance is this fancy looking pocket watch, which is really pretty aesthetically, just saying, but it holds all of your magic attacks. And you could insert different gems to get more attacks or to buff up your character. But to do this, you have to go to an orbiting factory, and you have to have Sephim, which could be found after beating enemies or finding various treasure chests. Each of the different colored gems represents a element. So red is fire, green is earth, blue is water, yada yada. They kind of look like confetti. When you beat an enemy, it goes pop. Now, I'm not really sure the full potential of the orbitance system because I'm just in the beginning, but from what I'm seeing, it's a really in-depth and customizable gameplay gameplay mechanic. Crafts, on the other hand, are different skills, which is powered by craft points. These help change the tide of battles, not only doing a good amount of damage, but also hitting enemies with status effects, or delaying their turn. And the name of the game is turn manipulation, because you do have a sidebar that shows you if an enemy is going next or if an ally is going next. So some attacks can boot the enemy down on the list, and that's really convenient because when you do arts, sometimes it takes time to summon, and you don't want an enemy to just hit you while you're summoning an art. And then there's the more powerful S-crafts, which are basically a very flashy, powerful attack. I know Estelle's does a ton of damage, and if you hit an enemy in the weakness, you get a crit, and you also activate a link attack, which allows a party-wide attack. Got it memorized? I hope you did, because the gameplay, like I said, is really in-depth. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, I highly recommend you actually play the demo and experience the gameplay for yourself. It's one of those gameplays where it's hard to explain, but once you do it yourself, it gets pretty easy. But let's move on to the miscellaneous items. This is the part where I put other stuff that I couldn't fit in the other categories. First one, Joshua is voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, who is best known for playing the Green Ranger in Power Rangers, along with Ichigo from Bleach and Nero in Devil May Cry games. Stephanie Seth, who voices Estelle, also voices Orihime in Bleach. Are we having a Bleach reunion or something? Though I didn't really like Bleach, so there's my bias. Anyways, she also voices Hinta Hyuga from Naruto. Now this is my favorite one because she is also the main voice actress for Usagi in Sailor Moon, which as a Sailor Moon girly, I really appreciate and I really love her work. Now with all the hype that the first chapter is getting, it has been semi-confirmed that they are currently working on the second game of the series, so we're good on that. I did get a press release package for this game. It's right over here, and these were a box of chocolates. I will put a picture here. They were so good, like oh my god. They were presented in this beautiful Trails in the Sky packaging. The chocolates were from Christopher Albo chocolates. So each of the flavors corresponds with a different character. Again, I'll put a picture here with all the chocolates they had to offer. My favorite was the hazelnut caramel, which goes to the character of Cassius Bright, the rum caramel for Shazard, and the caramel pecan for Zin. So yeah, these are a really good treat, and this is my first ever PR package, so this was really sweet. Needless to say, I am really excited for this remake. The demo just solidified my excitement, and I am ready to get into this series proper, and I hope you guys are too. Please tell me in the comments if you have any questions. Is this your first time playing this game or getting into the Trail series like me, or are you a longtime veteran of the series? And if you are, please leave any newbie tips or tricks in the comments down below. That would be really helpful. If you like this video, then please hit that like button, would appreciate it. And if you like my channel and would love to see more JRPG content, then please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 10K by the end of the year, and I hope we could do it. You can follow me on my socials in the description down below. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace.